It's finally here, Suicide Squad, and I have a lot of stuff to talk about, guys, so let's get to it. I literally had to make an entire list of positives and negatives just to make sure I got the right info that I wanted in this non-spoiler review. After this video, I'm going to make another video, spoiler review for Suicide Squad, so don't worry, no spoilers here. But I'm going to first talk about the negatives, and they are... So before I say the very first negative, I totally called it who the main villain was. I won't say who it was until the end of it, but because some people will think it as a spoiler, but I don't think it was, but you'll probably guess who it is because you've already seen it, and it's Sunday. They were really underdeveloped, and I had to really think about it. I've seen it twice now. I didn't want to just be like a fanboy and be like, oh, it's awesome, who cares, screw the critics. The critics were a little bit right about an underdeveloped main villain, and I didn't really get any, like, impact in the ending. It was just kind of a cliche, I'm gonna build this thing, and boom. But the person was really cool doing the stuff. I'll have to admit that. But there were times where they were overacting, and they did this weird hip movement gyration, but their head was standing still, and I was like, you can stop doing this, because, you know, if I keep on doing this during the review, you're probably gonna freaking stop watching this video, so I'm gonna stop. And also the end fight sequence, it's really still cool because you see the whole entire Suicide Squad there with Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Diablo, Katana, Rick Flag, probably a Killer Croc, and it's really cool in a DC comic book level, and if you love movies, it's still honestly really cool to see this happen, but it's just, you know where it's going, and that was my only issue with the final fight scene. Also, there's a scene where, you know, the bar scene with Deadshot being like, don't forget, we're the bad guys. So Rick Flag comes in, and they talk about some stuff, because Deadshot doesn't agree with Rick Flag, and Rick Flag doesn't agree with Deadshot, but he just gives him his daughter's letters. Rick Flag gives it to Deadshot, and I don't know, I just felt kind of like you've been holding on to his daughter's letters this entire time in the city. How did you know that was going to be convenient for you? I don't know. Maybe that was just me being picky. This is not really a negative. In a way it is, but in a way it's not, because I love these two characters, especially one of them. Yeah, the rumors are true. There are kind of a good amount of scenes of Jared Leto's Joker that were cut out of the final cut of this film. And I was a little bit disappointed by that, but I thought about it now after watching it twice. I understand why they did that, because David Ayer said there were some scenes that would have messed up the flow and made it a little bit longer, and some of it I heard had to do with the rating, and they had to keep it PG-13. So I really want to see those scenes with Joker, if those are the rated R scenes. Maybe an extended cut. Hopefully DC doesn't do this every freaking time, but it was just a little bit disappointing hearing that he was only in it for 10 to 13 minutes when he was probably going to be in it for 25. But I can wait till the Blu-ray, because Jared Leto, you are amazing as Joker. Okay, done with the negatives. Now on to the positives. Squad. Suicide Squad. The Squad in general. Every single character. Their story, their background, their chemistry with one another, the charisma and Deadshot, the smarky comments from Harley Quinn, Diablo's reasonings I'm not going to give out, because he is honestly low-key, actually high-key, my favorite Squad member, I believe so, next to Deadshot and Harley. Like, I did not see it coming for Diablo, and I'm not going to ruin it for you, because he has a great scene in the film. By far, a totally superhero fanboy scene that I can't wait for you guys to watch it. Or if you've already seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But just in general, I thought they did a great job with all the information, especially in the beginning of the film. They cut it segments like music videos. Each character had their own song. Each character had their own personality. You could see where they were coming from and why they're doing this. And it was just a lot of information, even for me, even for a regular moviegoer, and I love these comic books, but they did it in a way where it didn't feel rushed, and I liked that. And the people who were saying that was choppy and weird, it's just their opinion. My opinion is, yeah, I love me some Eminem with some Harley Quinn. I can do that any day, anytime. The music choices were awesome, the score was amazing, and that's what I think about all the info in the Squad. I just cannot say it and say it stressed enough. The Squad is amazing, and I'm running out of breath, and I'm not even halfway done. The chemistry of Harley Quinn and Joker is by far one of my favorite comic book things to ever see, from the comic book strips of the pages to this movie. It is like one of the most exhilarating, fun experiences I've had, seeing the backstory of Harley Quinn, how she became Harley Quinn, this crazy, mentally insane woman who can say one thing to be like, oh yeah, I want to hang out there, and then the next thing to run the other way and freaking run away from her with her crazy, bad, and awesome gun. Like, Margot Robbie literally blew me away with every single scene that she was in. She stole the show. Same with Deadshot 2. But for Jared Leto's Joker, he did something so different and unique. And I'll keep that for the last positive, because I think he did something special. But other than that, Deadshot 2, he was awesome. I loved the background story for him with him and his daughter. And there's a special scene there's a little cameo for Deadshot scene with his daughter, and it literally everyone in the theater gasped and was nerding out. It was awesome. There were so many good nerding out scenes in this film, and also, yeah, nerding out also does mean it was a good movie. So 26% Rotten Tomatoes, get out of here. The bar scene is probably my favorite scene in the whole entire film, because it shows the humanity in these villains, in these evil metahumans / people who are mercenaries, people who've killed women and children, people who are crazy nut jobs like Harley Quinn, and people who are just plain freaks and weirdos like Killer Croc who have been rejected by the public. It's just so cool to see a film where we are actually rooting for the bad guys. And David Ayer did an amazing job by that. That was the whole point of this film, is to show humanity with these characters and showing their background and showing where they came from and why are they here. What is the purpose of their life? And I thought David Ayer did a great job showing these characters with literally 10 to 20 different characters in a 2-hour film, and he did it such a unique way where it didn't feel like I was overloaded with information, but I got to know these characters on a personal level. There was some, there's probably 2 characters that I won't say that I was just kind of like, I could have seen more of their backstory, but overall, I thought, the whole story of it, the whole point of the Suicide Squad, it was great. And I don't know what anybody else is saying about how it's choppy editing and the story's really bland and cliche. In the ending, I can understand. The last 2 positives I'm going to talk about is the humor. This is actually the funniest DC film ever. Yeah, it's funnier than Green Lantern. I didn't mean that. That movie sucks. You know what I mean. But it literally, I honestly didn't even see it coming from how much humor they injected into it. People are going to be complaining and be like, oh yeah, you got Batman v Superman, it's all dark, they're trying to change the tone, they should have made it more darker. Would have I liked more darkness in some scenes? Yeah, but that's why I'm going to see the deleted scenes or possibly an extended Joker cut of the film. But the point is there's a reason why it had a different tone than Batman v Superman. Directed by Zack Snyder, directed by David Ayer. The Flash is directed by Christopher Miller, and his brother, director of 2122 Jump Street. James Wan's directing Aquaman. Patty Jenkins is directing Wonder Woman. It's different tones. It's a same universe, but different tones. It's not like Marvel where there's a freaking joke every 5 seconds and some darkness into it. Very little. You know that moment where Age of Ultron, that was supposed to be the darkest movie? Yeah. Remember Iron Man 3? Hate that movie. Last positive, Jared Leto's Joker. I had to talk about that separately. And yes, they could have added those scenes. Sometimes I even saw a web link supposedly where these deleted scenes were cut out, and there was at least 7 to 10 of them, I believe so, that were cut out of Joker and Harley Quinn scenes or Joker alone scenes with this gangster squad. But I read it, and about half of them I understood why they left it out, because I was like, that would honestly mess up with the flow and just add an extra 10 minutes that would have just made the film a little bit longer. And there were some scenes where I was like, why didn't you keep that in there? There's a scene with him in the ending of the film that would have been amazing. And there's a scene also with him where he slaps Harley Quinn and then they kiss and then they drive in their purple Lamborghini or whatever. I would have loved that too, to see the more darker side of Joker. And yes, let me say this, he is really dark. Jared Leto's Joker is crazy insane. Now, on the level of is he the best Joker ever, he's not, but it's like this. Spider-Man and Civil War. He has the potential. It was just too small of a sample to say that. Personally, my favorite Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire, but Spider-Man Homecoming, when it comes out, Tom Holland will be the best one. Same thing with Jared Leto's Joker. This was just too small of a sample for something that could be great. And if he brings the same performance in, per se, the Batman film, going head-to-head with Ben Affleck's Batman, he will be the best Joker. Overall thoughts, this movie is a solid, fun action film, and I think you'll have a good time if you're a DC fan, and if you're a movie fan, overall, you will like this movie. And yes, it is better than Batman v Superman, the theatrical cut. I'm still debating with the ultimate cut because I love me that movie. That movie was great. Never watching the theatrical cut again. But Suicide Squad, I think you'll enjoy it. It's a fun action movie with some great humanity scenes, really great humor, and just like I said before, it's a fun action movie. And if you don't even know anything about DC Comics, you'll like this movie. Don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes. Don't even listen to critics in general that are bashing this film. They are doing this way too harshly. And I understand everyone has opinion, so if you don't like the movie, that's okay. We'll wait for Wonder Woman, or the next movie you might like that I'll do a review for. But until then, watch Suicide Squad. I'm going to give Suicide Squad a solid B+. So, I hope you enjoyed my Suicide Squad review. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell all your friends about me. And don't forget to be blessed. Triangle.